Hey everyone, Erick Stakelbeck here. Breaking news, Israel strikes Iranian forces in Syria yet again, and this one could be a game changer. Plus, Germany bans Hezbollah. Get all the details coming up. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. It's hard to believe that it's been about 8 weeks now that we've all been sheltering in place due to this COVID-19 pandemic. I just want you to know that I continue to pray for each and every one of you, for your families. Folks, we cannot do what we do here on the newscast without your support, so thank you and hang in there. I hope that you're using this time to draw closer to your family like I am and draw closer to God, because I can assure you during a time like this especially, He is waiting there for you with open arms. Okay, we've got a lot to get into today, folks. Some breaking news updates. As I said at the top, last night, Monday night, May 4th, Israeli forces, now they're not claiming responsibility, but it was most likely the Israel Defense Forces, struck Iranian assets in eastern Syria yet again. And now Israeli defense officials are saying that Iran may be gradually pulling some of its forces out of Syria. Folks, that would be a major game changer. Secondly, we want to talk about Germany banning Hezbollah. That's right. Iran's deadliest proxy banned in one of Europe's most pivotal and important countries. We'll get into it in a second. Before I do, I just want to encourage you to subscribe to the Watchman Newscast here on YouTube. Click that notification button, folks, because you will get alerts every time a new video is posted here to YouTube. We've got the newscast Tuesday and Thursday with some breaking news updates sprinkled in as well. And also, you'll see all the videos posted here from our Watchman television show, our 30-minute weekly show, which you can see every Friday on TBN and every Sunday on the Fox Business Network. Stick around to the end of today's newscast, by the way, because not only do we have some very important breaking information for you, but I'll share more details about a special Mother's Day offer we are doing. We are partnering with Ahava, the world leader in Dead Sea skin products, an amazing Israeli company, and part of the proceeds with this special Watchman newscast discount will go to a very, very special cause in Israel, so stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get into it. Breaking news we woke up to this morning here in the States, that on Monday night, May 4th, just last night, Israeli forces struck an Iranian base, some kind of plant in eastern Syria. At least 14 Iranians, and it seems that some Iraqi Shia militia members may have been there as well, were killed in this Israeli strike. There was also a strike in Aleppo in western Syria on Monday as well. And folks, this keeps with a pattern. Israel has been increasing its strikes against Iran and Hezbollah in Syria, in that crucial battleground at Israel's doorstep. Now, if you've been tuning into the newscast over the past few weeks, we've been giving you constant updates on the situation. I call it up north, to Israel's north in southern Lebanon, and in particular in Syria, where we have the Iranian regime, the Assad regime, Hezbollah, and those Shia militias sponsored and funded and directed by Iran. They are trying to establish a beachhead, a foothold in the Golan Heights at Israel's doorstep. Israel says, no way, red line, we will not allow it. And unlike some, the Israelis keep their red lines. On the flip side, the Iranian regime has been saying, we're not going anywhere. We are in Syria to stay, because we see Syria as the crucial battleground for us in terms of transiting weapons into the hands of Hezbollah and other Shia militias, again, at Israel's doorstep. That's why Iran, folks, went all in. Once Assad was on the ropes in Syria during that Syrian civil war back in 2014, 2015, Iran was all in. Not only that, the not so dearly departed Iranian terror master Qasem Soleimani actually traveled to Moscow twice to meet with Russian officials to implore Russia to get involved in Syria and bail their boy Assad out. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. September 2015, Russia rolls into Syria. By the way, they're not going anyway either. That's another story. But Assad has essentially emerged as the victor in the Syrian civil war. So Iran said, great, mission accomplished. This is exactly what we wanted. We're going to set up shop in Syria to stay. Now we're here. We're entrenched. We're not going anywhere. And this will add fuel to the fire of our ideological goal of wiping Israel off the map, because now we can really surround Israel on all sides. We've got Gaza. We've got southern Lebanon with Hezbollah. Now we will have Syria as well. And what they want to do is create a southern Lebanon situation in the Golan Heights at Israel's doorstep. Israel, thankfully, wisely, has said no way, has carried out hundreds, maybe thousands of strikes against Iranian assets, against Hezbollah assets in Syria over the past several years, and has also struck Syria, the Syrian military, the Assad regime's air defense systems there in Syria. Israel has sent a very clear message time and time again, folks. It seems every other day you wake up and you see the news, boom, a weapons depot was struck in Syria. Several Iranians were killed. What are the Iranians doing in Syria, you might ask? Good question. You see a strike against a Hezbollah target, the precision-guided munitions program that we've talked about here in the newscast, those precision-guided missiles that would have great accuracy if Hezbollah had them to use against Israeli targets, God forbid. So we're seeing just this steady stream of Israeli strikes against Iranian Hezbollah assets, relentless pressure, Israel sending a message, and that message was never more clear than last week when Israel's defense minister, Naftali Bennett, said, look, our goal in Syria, with Iran in Syria, it's not to just kind of contain Iran in Syria and push them back from our border. Our goal is to expel Iran from Syria for good. So Israel is very clear, folks. They are not mincing words. That's the defense minister of Israel. They are not mincing words. They're saying, it's done. We want you out because this is an existential threat at our doorstep that we cannot accept. Wisely and rightly so, Israel is employing this strategy, relentless pressure against Iran. And guess what, folks? The strategy is working. According to Israeli defense officials, there are signs that Iran is gradually pulling some of its forces out of Syria. Not only that, the military transport planes that were going back and forth from Tehran to Damascus, obviously carrying weapons to go into the hands of anti-Israel fighters, that flow has slowed down as well. So very interesting. This relentless offensive pressure by the IDF is having a great effect. Iran is on its heels in Syria, folks. And not only that, remember, Iran has been hit very hard by coronavirus at home. You're not hearing a whole lot about this, but they're one of the most hardest hit countries in the world. They're not a trustworthy regime, obviously, so you can't trust their numbers, but it's a good bet that tens of thousands of Iranians potentially have perished as a result of coronavirus, including some top government officials and some clerics close to the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. So Iran may be forced a bit to redirect its energies right now and its focus to its own population. Imagine that. They're already oppressing their population and paying the wrong kind of attention to the Iranian people, but maybe they're trying to get the COVID-19 thing under control there. Obviously, Israel's relentless pressure campaign is working and sending a clear message. So that's a great thing to see. We will give you more updates on this. Usually now, Iran retaliates. They're not known to kind of stay low and never strike back. They will look, God forbid, but we know how they are. We know what they do. We know their ideology. And we have a long track record of such incidents to draw from and deduce from what they're going to do. They are going to look to strike back. This may just be a temporary thing for them where they're pulling back for the moment. They have not given up on Syria, folks. I just want to make that clear. They are taking their licks there, thank God, and they are wounded badly there. But they, in their mind and their ideology, they're not giving up on Syria because, again, their ideology demands that they control Syria to get to Lebanon, because that's where Hezbollah is, in southern Lebanon, Iran's deadliest proxy. How can the Iranian regime supply their deadliest, most effective proxy at Israel's doorstep, Hezbollah? How can they continue to supply them with rockets and missiles, precision-guided munitions, all sorts of weaponry and training if they can't get to Lebanon through Syria? It becomes a lot more difficult, right? So Iran, you haven't heard the last of them in Syria by a long shot, I'm very sad to say. Here's the good news. Clearly, the Israel Defense Forces are on top of it, and the pressure will continue. Another really interesting development, folks, on the Iran-Hezbollah front, Germany has banned Hezbollah outright. You might say, what do you mean, ban them outright? Well, very interesting situation in much of Europe where they break Hezbollah into two wings. They say, look, Hezbollah has a military wing which we ban and which we condemn, which is working towards destroying Israel and carrying out terror around the world. Of course we condemn them. But then on the other side they say, but Hezbollah also has a political, social wing where they have democratically, legitimately elected representatives in the Lebanese parliament, and their social wing feeds needy families in southern Lebanon. We should talk to them. So that's been Europe's take on it, much of Europe's take on it, including the European Union, the main body there in Brussels, over the past few decades. Germany, thankfully, hey, better late than never, they said enough is enough. And they banned the military wing a while ago, but now, as of last week, they banned Hezbollah completely from Germany, from any kind of activity on German soil. In this announcement last week, they also raided at least 4 Hezbollah-connected mosques in Germany, some quote-unquote cultural associations in Germany that are linked to Hezbollah, and they also looked into some figures in Germany, some people linked to Hezbollah as well. So big news, the German Interior Ministry issued a very strong statement saying Hezbollah is a Shiite terrorist organization, you think, and which is committed to the destruction of the state of Israel. You can't make a distinction, political, social, military. No, no, no. Hamas has also tried that, folks, over the past several years. Hey, look, we have a military wing. We are committed to destroying the Zionist entity, but we also have a political wing, and we're feeding needy orphans in Gaza. I see no evidence of that, but this is the take that they have had, and unfortunately, much of the world has swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. So Germany now, and hopefully this sets a tone in Europe, Germany has banned Hezbollah outright. In doing so, they joined the United States, Israel, Canada, the Netherlands, some Arab nations, Japan, some Sunni Arab nations, Japan, and I'm calling on Europe here from the Newscast, follow Germany's lead here and ban this terror organization, this bloodthirsty terror organization outright. I'm looking at France, and I know the U.S. State Department now and U.S. officials are putting pressure on France to follow suit, to ban Hezbollah outright, including the political wing, because, folks, it sends not only a message to Hezbollah, but to the Iranian regime, which, remember, is the master of Hezbollah, and to weaken Iran's deadliest, most lethal proxy, sends a message to the regime at a time when clearly, hey, they're on their heels a bit, folks. Soleimani taken out back in January. COVID-19, sadly, hurting Iran badly, sadly for the Iranian people, hitting Iran hard. Israel keeping up with relentless pressure in Syria. U.S. sanctions biting and having a major effect on the Iranian economy. They are on their heels a bit right now, folks. And now we have Hezbollah banned in a European powerhouse nation, Germany. So Iran might be saying, hey, what's next? If Germany bans us, will the EU just outright, the European Union, could they ban us? Will France kind of buckle and ban Hezbollah as well? Both the military wing and the so-called political wing. So folks, keep an eye on that. Wow, some very interesting developments, very busy news day and news week, although COVID-19 continues to capture the headlines. And look, rightfully so, this is an unprecedented global pandemic. As we've said here on the Newscast, the chess pieces continue to move in the Middle East, and what happens in the Middle East does not stay in the Middle East. Again, keep an eye on Iran in Syria, taking their lumps, and it's great to see, but they're not going to go without a fight because Syria is very, very crucial to their strategy to destroy Israel. The God of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, so it ain't happening, but it's not going to be pretty getting there and expelling Iran from Syria altogether. But Israel has the right motive and the right thought to do that, and they will keep up the pressure. More updates to come here on the newscast. Hey, before we go, I wanted to mention again, Mother's Day is coming up May 10th, and we are doing, for Mother's Day, a special partnership with Ahava. It's a great Israeli-owned business, very respected, obviously. Everyone's heard of Ahava when you visit Israel. Very respected, Dead Sea skin products. Great stuff. I always bring them home when I visit Israel for my wife. I go to Mamilla Mall in Jerusalem to the Ahava store. I bring them home. I've dipped into her stash here. Don't tell her. Mineral body lotion, body exfoliator. Good stuff for mom, for your wife, for your daughters as Mother's Day comes. 25% discount. The best part about it, and the reason I'm doing it, folks, is that number one, this is supporting a great Israeli business and supporting the Israeli economy during a time when Israel really needs it. Number two, part of the proceeds of every sale will go to needy Israeli families that have been hit hard by this COVID-19 economic shutdown. So I feel that I'm fulfilling the biblical mandate to bless Israel by partnering with Ahava in this. I feel very strong about it, helping the Israeli economy and helping Israeli families during this very difficult time. So you can go in the description underneath the video here. Just go where it says description underneath the video, and the link is in there. Just click on the link. It'll take you to Ahava, and you'll get a great special discount for mom just in time for Mother's Day. Folks, thanks so much for joining us this week. Today, I should say, on the newscast, because we're not done this week. We'll be back on Thursday as well. Who knows what will happen? Things continue to develop in Syria between Israel and Iran. Major events that will not only affect the Middle East, but will affect you no matter where you live. Until Thursday, God bless you. Hang in there. We will see you soon. And remember, never hold your peace.